Every country in the world is in debt. The United States owes over $38 trillion today, the highest number in its entire history. Europe carries around $14 trillion, and Japan is close to $9 trillion. Even wealthy nations like Saudi Arabia or powerful economies like Germany and China all carry massive amounts of debt. So here's the real question. If everyone owes money, who are they actually paying? At first, it sounds like a simple question, but the deeper you go, the more complicated it becomes. Because money, power, and history are all deeply connected. And nothing in this system works the way most people think. Debt isn't just a problem we need to fix. It's actually the foundation of the modern world. Every war, every crisis, every boom, every recession, all of it is built on top of invisible promises. Promises between governments, promises between banks, promises between people. And if you follow those promises long enough, you start to notice something strange. The world doesn't really owe money to someone else. In many ways, it owes money to itself. But just because the system is circular doesn't mean it's fair. Some people benefit more than others. Some countries gain power while others struggle to survive. So how do we get here? To understand this system, we need to go back hundreds of years, long before credit cards, before online banking, before digital money, back to a time when money was physical and governments could only spend what they actually had. In 1694, England was at war with France. And like most wars, it was expensive. The government was running out of gold. And without money, the war would be lost. So the king made a decision that would change history forever. He turned to wealthy merchants and investors and asked them for help. Lend me money now, and I will pay you back later with interest. But here's the key part, that interest would be paid using future taxes. Not current money, but money that didn't even exist yet. This idea was revolutionary. For the first time, a government could spend money it didn't have by borrowing from the future. To manage this system, they created the Bank of England. And something new was born, a financial promise that could be written down, traded, and sold. That promise became what we now call a government bond. At first, it was just a simple agreement. But over time, it turned into something much bigger. Because that promise could be bought and sold like any other asset. It became liquid, flexible, powerful, and most importantly, trusted. Soon, other countries saw how effective this system was. France adopted it, the Netherlands improved it, and later, the United States used it to fund its own revolution. Debt slowly transformed from something dangerous into something essential. It was no longer a sign of weakness. It became a sign of strength. Because if you could borrow money, it meant people believed in you. They trusted your future. Empires used to expand by conquering land, by extracting gold and resources. But now they had a new tool. Instead of taking wealth, they could borrow it. And instead of war being the only path to power, finance became just as important. The battlefield became the balance sheet. Fast forward to today. Debt is no longer just part of the system. It is the system. The United States owes $38 trillion. Japan owes over $9 trillion. And globally, debt increases by about $1 trillion every 100 days. Think about that for a second. Every 100 days, another $1 trillion is added to the global system. Everyone is involved. Countries borrow money, banks lend money, and individuals through taxes, pensions, and savings become part of the cycle. You're not just a citizen in this system. You are both a debtor and a creditor, even if you don't realize it. So again, who actually owns the debt? Let's take a closer look at the United States. Out of its $38 trillion debt, about half is owned by investors, not the government itself. And here's where it gets interesting. Most of those investors are actually Americans. Banks, pension funds, insurance companies, mutual funds, even the Federal Reserve. The remaining portion, around $9 trillion, is held by foreign countries. Japan is the largest holder, then China, followed by countries like the United Kingdom, Luxembourg, and Belgium. So when people say the US owes China money, they're not wrong, but they're not entirely right either, because that's only a small fraction of the total. Most of the debt America owes is to itself, and that creates a strange loop. The government borrows money, investors buy government bonds, citizens pay taxes, and that money flows back to those same investors. The system feeds itself over and over again. And this isn't just happening in one country. It's happening everywhere. Japan lends to the US. The US lends to Europe. Europe lends to developing countries. And those countries invest back into Western economies. Money moves in circles. It's like a global table where everyone is borrowing from everyone else. And the only rule is simple. No one gets up, because if one major player stops, the entire system starts to shake. Behind all of this, there's another layer, a powerful one. Financial institutions, banks, hedge funds, central banks, sovereign wealth funds. They control trillions of dollars, and they make decisions that affect entire countries. They decide who gets cheap loans and who pays high interest just to survive. If they lose confidence in a country, that country can collapse overnight. Currencies lose value, governments fall, economies break apart, and at the center of everything are central banks. They don't just manage money, they create it. When central banks buy government bonds, they inject new money into the system, money that didn't exist before, which means every dollar in circulation is connected to some form of debt. There is no such thing as truly debt-free money. Every bill, every coin, every digital transaction is tied to a promise somewhere in the system. And for decades, this system has worked. Not because it's perfect, but because people believe in it. Trust is the fuel. As long as investors believe governments will keep paying interest, the system continues. But when that trust disappears, everything changes. We've seen it happen before. In Greece, during the debt crisis. In Argentina, through repeated defaults. In Sri Lanka, when the country ran out of money. When confidence breaks, the system stops hiding, and suddenly, the creditors become visible. The IMF, the banks, the investors, the ones holding the debt, now hold the power. But even after collapse, the system doesn't end. It resets. Old debt gets replaced with new debt, and everything starts again. Because modern debt isn't designed to be paid off. It's designed to continue. Governments don't plan to eliminate their debt. They refinance it again and again and again, like a subscription that never ends. The goal isn't to remove debt. It's to keep it under control, to keep it stable. to keep people believing in it, because the entire global economy depends on that belief. Government bonds are considered the safest assets in the world. Banks depend on them. Investors rely on them. Central banks use them as a foundation. Now, imagine what would happen if all that debt suddenly disappeared. The system wouldn't improve. It would collapse, because the thing holding everything together will be gone. So instead of reducing debt, the system continues to grow. Debt has become the heartbeat of the global economy. As long as the heart keeps beating, the system survives. But there's a deeper truth. Not everyone benefits equally. Interest payments don't flow evenly through society. They move upward, from workers to institutions, from taxpayers to investors. So debt isn't just a relationship between countries. It's also a relationship between people, between those who own assets and those who pay into the system. And that's why inequality keeps growing alongside global debt. At the end of the day, there isn't one single villain. Not China, not Wall Street, not governments. It's all connected, and we are all part of it. Debt has become money itself, and as long as people believe in the system, it will continue to exist. But if that belief ever breaks, everything changes, because in the end, debt is just a promise, and no promise lasts forever.